Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very, very special History 11 Hard Talk. As you know, Mr. Richard's here and I'm joined by the one and only Mr. Joshua King and also the BMF Morris. Now, the two of you square off this Saturday, History 11 Night 1. Let's really take it right back. Let's start with you, Josh. When you first come into CPW, what was your opinions on Morris?
Morris was on my radar for one reason and one reason only. He was carrying something I wanted. And other than that, I wouldn't even have noticed it.
Didn't even notice it at that time. You know, I'm sure you would have considered yourself as one of the top tier performers here in CPW. Josh is saying, not even memorable. Just what you were carrying.
Well, like I say, at that time I re-picked up the Next Gen Wrestling Heavyweight Championship off Will Starr, one of the most decorated superstars in CPW. And just even from that sets the bar. And from that point, in my opinion, I had one of the greatest runs with that Next Gen Championship, beating everyone in my way, coming over the odds with Trinity Rebellion, and then it all led to me and you.
True response. That was a lengthy response. Does that touch your heart at all?
The only reason you had the opportunity to have that run with the title is because I wasn't here. The second we faced each other for it, what happened? It came home with me. There's no secret, from the second I stepped foot in this place, I have been the best here. And I've been holding back.
Let me just interject there for a minute, Josh. There was some that say when you first come into CPW, the CPW Galaxy swallowed you. So is what you just said there true? You were the man as soon as you stepped in there? Was there some reality that kind of CPW Galaxy really said, right, you're going to have to work hard to be the top man here in CPW?
If we're talking about the taunt of abuse that I received from the second that I walked into this place, yeah, it was a hostile environment. But if we're talking about sheer ability, there's no question.
How do you do that? You know, you've known the CPW Galaxy since you were 10 years old. You grew up in the Galaxy. Did they swallow him?
Well, from my opinion, I believe they did. I mean, let's be real. We know our crowd, we know the Galaxy, they will not hold back. And they'll say what they've got to say. And I mean, let's be real, they called you a Burger King and that was too much. And what came from that, in our first clash, I beat you. I beat you at your own game. You tried to hold the ropes on me, and I held the ropes on you and proved to you, it doesn't matter what you try and do, I will find a way.
Do you know what, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that because that is exactly my issue with the CPW Galaxy. I've made no secrets about it. Since I've returned, that there is a bias that occurs in this place. And you, my friend, you are an enabler. See, my initial issue was not even with you. It has always been with the CPW Galaxy. There is one side that says yes. You can get away with murder, and they won't say a thing. But from day one when I got here, they have been on my case for the smallest of things. Explain.
You say I can get away with murder. There was once a time when the Galaxy weren't even on my side. So I made some bad decisions in my opinion. I mean, I went down a dark path. But my thing is this. You sit there and saying I'm an enabler. You came in straight away and you had one goal, like you say. You came for my championship, might I? And you're saying all this about I can get away with anything. Well, let's be real. You tried to play your games, you tried to get in my head. Matter of fact, you went at my family. So I class the Galaxy as my family, my Morris mob. And what happened?
Here's what I would say, Morris, in terms of what Josh has said. He targeted your championship and he won your championship. So isn't he a man that backs up his own words.
One thing I will give you, you did let it slip out my hands. You did screw me over, however. So if we actually look back, okay, you beat me 2 falls out of 3, straight off the bat, but you didn't do it clean, did you? You didn't have me down, knock me out, and pin me on the terms that you should have.
Given what you've just said about our first encounter, we have a leg to stand on, I think.
Well, you tried it on me. You tried it on me and I played you at your own game. That time you got very lucky. My head weren't in the game, let's be real, I was just wanting to hurt it. And that's the same situation now, but the difference is, I've matured, I have grown, I realised something about yourself. You will do anything to get to the top, but as far as I'm concerned, I mean, let's look at that reign that you had. You lost your championship to a male stripper. At least when I was fighting and I lost against you, at that time you were a formidable opponent. But you went downhill. You got too cocky, and that's what happened.
Downhill, you say downhill is a victory over Dan Evans, Hall of Fame, 2-time Hall of Famer, multiple-time champion here in CPW. Is that downhill?
I'll give him that. I will give you that you did beat Dan Evans.
What's your response to that? Downhill, when I've just presented the fact of what you did. against Dan
I
Evans.
think if you look at the people that I beat during my reign, it's unquestionable. It was a solid reign. And arguably, if at the time I didn't have a busted neck, which I had when I beat you, might I add, and I didn't have to take the time off that I had to take off, I'll probably still be holding on to it now.
Let's jump into the 2 out of 3 falls at Elimination 2023. What's your recollection of that match?
Well,
Because I'm right in saying that, Josh, am I right in saying that it was 2 falls to 0? Which is your favour?
well, like I said, I do give it to you. You did beat me 2-0. You had me, and you played your mind games, and somehow it did work. But I will keep saying this, and I'll say it again. You did not beat me clean. You sit there and say about how I'm a hypocrite. You've mentioned it online, but
Is 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2-0 not clear enough? Is that, if you'd beat him 2-0, would you sit and say undeniably, I whooped your ass 2 out of 3?
I would say that. But I will keep saying it. You did not beat me clean. You did not have me down clean.
What's your response?
The sooner you realise that a win is a win, the record books will show my name with a big W next to it, not yours. You need to go through your head. Success is not a straight path. Like you said, you've been down that dark path before. I do what I need to do to succeed. The difference is, I don't pander to the galaxy when I do it.
Is that his downfall? Handling.
I believe that's
It's downfall of
the biggest downfall.
many stars, in wrestling period. Is that what you see? You just see a pandering fan favourite, how much substance inside the
Look
sweat.
at this situation right now. I can see you haven't broke eye contact with me since we've been here. You're twitching. You look like you're gonna jump across this table right now and hit me. All I had to do was mention the fans, and that was enough to make you cry. Heaven forbid, I went the extra mile and made a point of going at your family.
Let's just, before we get to the current situation, let's talk. You went to Summerfest, faced PCAs now. You lost about, but the key thing with that is you had shoulder injury, correct? Which literally,
Neck and shoulder injuries.
yes, which wrote you out of CPW in your wrestling career as a whole at that point. We're now here. Do you think he's recovered from that? Is that something you think is his weakness? Shoulder and neck injuries in this business in particular is certainly detrimental to a performer's abilities in the square circle.
I mean, 100%. I mean, let's look at your finisher for prime example. You have to use your shoulder and neck to get that turn. Lifting me up, things like that, let's be real. You'll struggle. I believe you jumped the gun when jumping me at elimination. Because I don't think you were ready to come back. I mean, you're facing one of the best versions of myself. I'm not 100% there yet, but I am the current best version. And I will make sure that it's targeted, 100%.
Josh, when I'll let you respond to that as well. in this question. So, you were injured, you were talking about the elimination. Now, you'd had that time out. Was that beneficial to you? And when you come back, did you come back too early based on the fact you sat in the crowd and you fancied that action again? Is Joshua King fully healed?
As I said before, and maybe you didn't realise, and again, that's the difference in level. From day one, when I stepped foot in here, I was carrying that injury. Everything I've done and everything I've achieved here so far, I was carrying that injury. So you may think it's a target, you may think I'm not ready. I've taken the time off to heal. Do you think I was sitting at home with my feet up? No. I was training and I was getting ready for this. I pick my times. I don't do anything by mistake, anything by accident, and nothing on a whim. Everything I do is calculated to a T. So if you think that that's a weakness, target it. Play my game. I already know what you're gonna go for. This is chess, and I'm already 2 moves ahead. So have a think on that.
Okay, just picking up what you just there. So, you just talked about being calculated. So, between that time, you